Oh, hello. Yeah. Well, good grief. A rare sighting yesterday. Nice Mr. Nigel Farage, who definitely didn't do anything apart from the things that he did do. And anyway, he's probably sorry for them and he didn't mean it in a nasty way. That one, yeah, was up in Scotland. Yes. Looks like Reform are going to try and, well, do something in Scotland, up in Falkirk, where they were joined by another ex-Tory. Well, yes, somebody I'd never heard of, but apparently very important. There was a wildly over-enthusiastic crowd. One has the feeling they'd been told to be very enthusiastic, had that kind of vibe to it. I might be, being slightly rude about it perhaps, but certainly had that vibe. But now Nigel definitely wasn't going to take any questions. Certainly not from those evil types at the BBC, of course, yes. And there was a certain level of, well, circling the wagons amongst our very committed journalist class this weekend, certainly suggesting, that just the kind of things that everyone did in the 1970s because they watched the BBC, what with the black and white minstrel show and Alf Garnett and Einarf Hotman, it just meant that we were all homophobic and we all made loads and loads of jokes about, gassing Jewish people. Which is not exactly how I remember it, but maybe my memories are just, wrong because after all, it was a long time ago. And who can remember exactly apart from, 28 people that have come out as named individuals that say that Nigel did things compared to the umpteen letters that he's got that he'll show us if we promise not to name them or something. Anyway, yeah, the BBC are responsible for so many things in society, and I thought we'd actually think about that today because, this caught my eye in the Telegraph. Yes, the BBC's pro-trans bias damaged our children. Oh dear. Yes, hundreds of parents call on Ofcom to investigate broadcaster for constant drip feed of one-sided programmes. Yes, it's the Bayswater Group, which sounds like a sort of literary thing, but they're not. They're just simply a bunch of people who have kids that realistically they seem to be having problems with, and I don't know, perhaps it's just bad parenting, but maybe that's just me being bitchy. But anyway, have decided that uniformly it's all the BBC's fault because there was that character on Casualty or something similar. Anyway, yes, the group has urged the regulator to examine what it describes as the corporation's failure to uphold the duty of impartiality and safeguarding as a result of the BBC's constant drip feed of one-sided stories celebrating the trans experience without adequate balance and objectivity. Yes, which got me thinking about that whole thing about, all that balance and objectivity that we certainly get in the Daily Telegraph. Now, if any of you can point me to a balanced trans article in the Telegraph from the last 5 years, I'd be intrigued to see one. I would suggest the same thing about the Daily Mail and, maybe GB News or Talk TV or The Sun or The Times, or, to a large extent, The Guardian, for that matter. But no, apparently it's just the BBC. It's just the BBC, and after all, therefore it's no real wonder that Nige was as he was, because, of course, the black and white minstrel show, even though it was cancelled several years before, he was actually old enough to not be bullying and racially abusing very small children. But perhaps that's just me being picky, or remembering it wrong, or perhaps I'm being biased, and, not really getting what's really going on with the BBC because, even though I don't really watch or listen to any of it, I somehow are deeply infected by it. But then again, you see, the problem with this, of course, is the fact that with all of this stuff going on, and what with all of those right-wingers like, Isabel Oakeshott and Nigel and the rest of them that appear very regularly on things like Question Time, one has to think, well, maybe this whole thing with reform is in fact a product of BBC brainwashing. Tricky, isn't it? I think we'll just have to wait for 49 years till we can see exactly what's going on, and they make up spurious reasons as to why the person that appears to have been doing very nasty things in their later teenage years in fact wasn't. That makes perfect sense to me, and I'm sure it makes perfect sense to a whole bunch of journalists at the Daily Telegraph. But, that's probably just the brainwashing that's been going on. Tricky, isn't it? Tricky. And anyway, if anyone's going to brainwash kids into being trans, surely we'd have to leave that to the teachers, wouldn't we? After all, it's their job. Do have a lovely end to the weekend. If you can do, stay warm, stay dry, and try to avoid the BBC. You never know what you might pick up. Ew. Enjoy.